In this part of the lesson, we're going to be working with percent markups or percent discounts. So in our previous parts of the lesson, we found either the original price or the new price based on those markups or discounts. In this part of the activity, they're going to give us the original price, give us the sale, either the marked up or the marked down price, and then they're going to ask us to find the new percentage. For both markups and discounts, they're both very similar to each other. Okay, so here's a scenario. It says Sam bought a baseball bat for $32. If the original price was $80, what percent discount did Sam receive? Okay, so based on the information that we had done previously, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. We can go through and set this up as a proportion. So when we did our proportions, remember this was always our sale over our original. And normally we would put percentages in here, and then in the back half we would go ahead and put our actual information. So here he bought it for $32. That was the sale price. And the original price was $80. So they want us to figure out the percent discount that Sam received. So we could go through and go ahead and set up. We know that the original would be 100%. And we could go through and cross multiply divide. Okay, so if I took $32 times 100, it would give me $3,200. And then I'm going to divide that by $80. And when I do that, I get 40. Now, here's the thing that you have to remember. He did not get a 40% discount. That's the sale or the percent price that he paid. So to figure out what percent discount he got, we're going to go ahead and take our original 100% minus the 40% that we found out that he paid, which tells us he got a 60% discount here. Okay, so that's the key thing is for the most part, you can solve it the same way that you did previously on all of our other problems, but there's that one additional step in the back end, and that's because before, when we would do a markup or a discount, we could go through and actually we would add or subtract, the 100% at the beginning. And here we have to remember, oh yeah, we had 100% originally and we subtracted something to get this 40%, okay? So when we do this, then we have to do that subtraction in the back end. On a markup, it's gonna be the same thing. You're still gonna be subtracting between your two numbers. It's just that you'll be subtracting that bigger percentage minus the 100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, so it says Eric bought a video game controller for $45.50. If the original price was $70, what percent discount did Eric receive? So once again, we could set it up as a proportion. We don't know the percentage that he paid, but we know it's 100% for originally. Okay, we know that he paid $45.50. Whoops. And that the original price was $70. Okay, so we could still go through that cross multiply divide. The other thing that some of you will notice that you could also do is you could go through and actually just work off of this and change it to its decimal form. So if I took 45.50 and divided it by 70, that's going to give me 0.65, okay, which would be the same as 65%. I'm going to get the same thing if I cross multiply divide. So if I do 45.50 times 100, and then I divide that by 70, it still gives me 65, but on my calculator it just says the 65, not the 0.65. So either method you can choose to use. Just remember, if you choose to go from the fraction, just the basic fraction, into its percent or its decimal, you have to change it to its percent form. Okay, so we didn't get a 65% discount. That's what we paid. So we're going to take 100 minus the 65% discount, or minus the 65% that we paid to figure out the discount. So 100 minus 65 is going to give us 35%. So we got a 35% discount here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and try another one. Oops. Okay, so Keri bought a gift for her mom for $108. If the original price was $135, what percent discount did Keri receive? So remember, it's sale over original. Okay, if you want to use the proportions, you can. We don't know the percent, but we know originally it was 100%. And Keri paid on the sale $108, and we know originally it was $135. So we can cross multiply, divide, or we can just work off of this part and change that decimal into its fraction form. When I change it to a decimal, it gives me 0.8 or 80%. So Keri paid 80%. So we have to remember, we want to know how much she didn't have to pay. What discount did she get? So we're always going to take our original minus what the percent that she paid of 80. So she got a 20% discount. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys one to try on your own, and then we'll go ahead and try a couple that are working with a markup, just so you can understand it's still the same process. Sarah bought a shirt for $28. The original price was $40. What percent discount did she receive? So go ahead, pause your video, and work your way through this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and work this one out. So we don't know the original, but we know that it's 100%. $28 over $40 was the original price. And when we go through and work this out, that gives us 70% for what she paid. Whoops, not dollars, 70%. Okay, so we're going to take 100% minus the 70%. You should have gotten that she got a 30% discount. Okay, so we're going to work a couple that are markups, and I don't have those pre-done, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of jot down some information as we do this. So let's say we worked in a jewelry store. You kind of did something like that in your activity for this lesson. So let's say you worked at a jewelry store, and you had originally bought a piece of jewelry. Let's say it was just a bracelet for $90. Okay, whoops. So we originally bought it for $90. Okay, we sold it for $117. Okay, that's what we sold it for. So this was the sale price. Okay, so if we wanted to go through and now convert that, okay, if you want to work off of the percentage, that's okay. Remember, this was the original is always 100%, and we're trying to figure that out. So we could cross multiply, divide, or we could just work off of this as a fraction. So 117 divided by 90. And then just remember, we have to move our decimal 2 places. I get 1.3, which is 130%. So how is it different when we do a markup? You're still going to do the same thing. You're still going to subtract between that percentage that you found and 100. So if you want to remember just to always subtract between those, that's fine. So if I originally had 100% and we marked it up to 130%, what's the difference? The difference was 30%. Okay, so it was a 30% markup in this case. And if you're ever confused and you go through and you take 100 minus 130, it's just going to show you a negative 30 on your calculator. It's still 30% or a negative 0.3. Okay, so, or no, it would be negative 30, sorry. So the key thing is you're still subtracting between that percent that you found and 100 when you're working with those markups and discounts. Okay, so let's try one more of these. Okay, so let's say that the original price of a ring, the original price, and I'm just going to write it out. So the original price to the store was $140. They're going to sell it for $231. Okay, I want to know the percent markup. Okay, so we're going to take our information. Remember, when we set it up, we always do the sale price over the original. It's not the smaller number over the bigger number always. In this case, on markup, you're going to have the bigger number on top. So our sale price was here, $231. Our original price was $140. Okay, and then if I want to use proportions, I can. This would be 100%. Cross multiply divide, or I can do the 231 divided by 140, which gives me 1.65. If I did the proportion, cross multiply divide, it would give me 165%. Okay, so remember, we want to know how much it was changed. What was the change between these two? So when we subtract between those, we find out it was a 65% change and it was marked up. Okay, because it was bigger than the 100%. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more. And this one I want you to try on your own. So let's say we originally paid for, we'll say it was a necklace. We originally paid $250. Okay, and we're going to sell that for $562.50. Okay, I want you to go through and find the percent markup. Okay, remember, it's always your sale price over original. Okay, and if you want to use proportions, you can. Otherwise, you can set it up as a fraction and then change to a percentage. So go ahead, pause your video, and work your way through this one. Okay, so in this situation, it ended up being 125% markup. Okay, so good luck with this, and just remember, when they're asking you to find that percentage of markup or discount, you have to remember to work off of subtracting between that and 100, whether it's the smaller number subtracted from 100, or when it's a markup, the bigger number subtracting the 100. So either way, you're subtracting with the 100 there. Good luck.